Wow, inflation is at an all-time high, right? We see that with energy prices, even putting petrol, or even in Singapore buying a plate of chicken rice or Thai fan, right? You see the prices just keep going up. What do we as property investors need to know about inflation, and how can we better position ourselves to still stay profitable and make sure our investments are safe? My name is Daniel, and I'm the founder of Bond Put Rich, and we create videos every week to help you to make passive income through property. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you get subscribed to this channel and stay tuned. So let's take a look at some statistics over here. Inflation, especially in the UK, is at an all-time high. People are saying it's like a 30-year high. Some of the reports are at 9.1%. Simply what this means, I'm not sure if you see what this means. There's a lot of fear and uncertainty. But as investors, we want to look at this and think to ourselves, what does that really mean for us? Well, simply if you are someone that's putting your money in the bank or in a fixed deposit earning like 1% interest rate, that just means that your money is being eaten away. Every year that you keep the money in a fixed deposit, it's going to be eaten away faster and faster. If that's you, then you really want to get that money working harder for you so that inflation becomes your friend rather than your enemy, right? Because we all know that the cost of living is going up faster than for those of us in a job, our pay is rising. So it's so important to put your monies that you have aside, not just in a bank where it's being eaten away by inflation, but actually to invest it in a way where it starts to generate a return for you. So let's look at some other headlines that we see. The fastest rent in 5 years in the UK. And some people interestingly think, wow, moving ahead, if there's economic challenges, will rents come down, right? If I invest in property. Well, that's really a strange thing. I mean, if you've ever rented property before, has a landlord come up to you and tell you, hey, guess what? This year I've decided to reduce your rent. Anybody has had that before? Type out in the chat. What do most landlords tell you instead? All right. The rents over time always go up. And if you look at this, then it's important to think to yourself that, hey, it's a great time to actually be a landlord, because property is such a defensive asset class, right? In times of inflation, it tends to go up in value, and as well as rents tend to go up in value as well. And in fact, let's look at this. This is the UK house prices in the 90s all the way to last year. And in the midst of pandemic, house prices actually grew, by 7.9% in 2020 and then 10% in 2021. I personally don't expect the prices to still continue to grow at that kind of rate, which is why it's so important for those of you who are following in our community. The first important thing is to know your strategy. And if you're investing for passive income, then you're not worried regardless of what happens in the market, because your property is still profitable every month. All right. And if there's capital appreciation, which there will be, because especially in times of inflation, it will go up even higher. And normally, I don't expect it to go up 10% every year, right? But even a very conservative 1 to 3%, there is still that capital appreciation at play, which is why it's so important to, people say don't try to time the market, but especially in property, it's about time in the market. Because property, they're not building more land. It's a basic need. Everybody needs a roof over their heads, whether they own it or if they can't afford to own it, especially in times that are challenging, then more people actually need to turn to rent. And that's why it's such an amazing time actually to get involved, start being a landlord and providing homes for people, right? It's not just about squeezing people dry, but doing it in a way where it's win-win. You provide homes for people, at the same time, you generate a source of passive income. So rents as well are a great hedge against inflation. I mean, I just shared, but essentially rents rise over time. And we see that even in Singapore, right? The rental market has risen so much even in the last 1 year. As we end off this video, a huge question for you and to look into the wisdom of the Chinese. And the word for crisis in Chinese is 危机. And in every crisis, there's the danger, and also there is the opportunity. The masses, the amateur investors, the news, all sensationalize the danger, the fears, the uncertainty. However, for us as professional investors, the question we want to ask ourselves is, what are some opportunities that arise from this? This doesn't happen every day. What are things that we could do, better position ourselves so that we can take advantage of the opportunities that others may not be seeing? Comment down in the comment section. What are some dangers we need to mitigate? What are some opportunities that we can see moving ahead? Hope this video has been helpful for you. This is Daniel signing out.